Hello everyone, happy Friday. This is Richard with the Mile 62 Running Channel. Hope you had a great week. We have the weekend coming up. Hope you have some grand plans. I'm planning to go out and run on the Habanero course, also do some filming. But it's hot in Texas, but um, plan on doing some runs. Hope you're doing well and have a eventful weekend yourself. So today we're continuing our Strava series, and I'm going to show you a new feature on Strava that you may not have heard before. It's a very useful feature, and it's called the Flyby feature. So let's go ahead and get started. Um, what you want to do is go into your activities, or I'll actually go into my activities, and I'm going to pull up a run that I know I've passed a lot of people. Um, I'll pull up Rocky Raccoon, which is a 100-miler. I did Rocky Raccoon in February. The feature that I want to talk about is the flyby feature. You'll notice here right below this add friends, there's called Strava Labs View Flybys. One thing I will note is you need to do this on your desktop or your laptop. Um, it's not available on your mobile phone yet. It's been around for a while, but not many people know about it. So what is Flybys? Flybys is if I'm running through my neighborhood and I pass cyclists or runners which are using Strava, there's a way to find out who they are. And you may just be interested, maybe you say hi to them all the time and you want to know who they are. Maybe you want to go on a group run with them sometimes. Or maybe you're looking for a training partner, you think that they're at the same ability as you. The same thing for a big race. Maybe you ran with someone like in a 100-miler, I'm out there, almost 27 hours. You're going to run with people sometimes for a few hours or a big part of the race, and you may not know much about them. But after the race, you want to keep in touch with them. You can get connected with them on Strava and then, develop a running relationship with them. One way to do that is with flybys. So what you do is you pull up an event. So I pulled up the Rocky Raccoon 100. There's a lot of people out there, over 1,000 runners, and you can see the course here. It's 5 times around Huntsville State Park. I know that area pretty well. I've done it twice. So what we want to do is go to this flyby, view flybys, and it will pull you up and tell you, pull up it'll drop down box and tell you a little bit about flybys every time, because if you want to change your privacy controls, you can do that. Um, one thing you want to do for the default setting is to not show you on flybys. So if you want to be people to be able to see you on flybys, you need to go to privacy controls and then choose everyone. You just click on this button and it will take you there. This might be useful for ladies, which they don't, maybe you don't want people to um, be able to check you out on flybys. Go to privacy controls and make sure that you do not select everyone. You can select everyone. This is what I select. You can also select contacts only, means people you're connected with Strava on Strava already, or no one at all. So it will always prompt you and tell you about this. So I pulled it up, and all these people you'll see here, I ran with at the Rocky Raccoon 100. It's quite a few. And what's interesting is there's a lot of different data points here, and I'll explain them in a minute. But the last one, D, is for distance. So Tom ran near me the whole race. Um, I highlight this Joe pacing matrix at Rocky. So it looks like Joe only ran 50 miles. He was pacing somebody, but he came very close to me during the run. And one thing you can do also is this little drag bar up here. You can move yourself around, and you can check someone else's box, and see where you might have been close to them. See, I've selected Tom, and I can move this around, and we were actually not very far apart on many parts of the race. Very useful function, and really cool. So if you wanted to, let me explain what these different boxes mean real quickly. If you go down here and you click on, another thing is it will, if you're, of course, at a Rocky Raccoon 100, everybody's running, but if you were doing a flyby in your neighborhood, you're going to pull up runners and cyclists. And if you want only to, let's say you're a runner, you can choose runs only. If you're a cyclist, you can choose cyclists only. So that's useful. In my neighborhood, there's actually more cyclists than there are runners. So a lot of times when I do flyby, I see cyclists which have got very close to me. So you go click on down here on the bottom, more info, and it's going to pull it up. This explains a lot more detail on what's going on in flybys. And what I wanted to show you, it talks about the playback controls, which I talked about. Down here on the bottom, you'll notice on top of the flybys it has an F, C, S, and D. Now, what do those mean? I already told you the D meant distance. But if you go down here to the very bottom on the explanation instruction page, it tells you the attribute and what they mean. So flyby means that this activity was a flyby within this primary activity. It means the activity was within 50 meters of you at some point. That means that someone on a bicycle running, or I'm not bicycle running, someone cycling or running was within 50 meters of you at some point during your activity. They will show up on this flyby. Correlation is a percentage of time that they were close to you during that activity. Correlations over 30% are considered group activity matches in Strava. And then there's a spatial correlation. The correlation and spatial correlation I don't think is very useful, but they're there if you want to use that data. What I'm interested in is the distance, and that they were, that they were close to me within 50 meters, and then the actual persons in the flyby. So let's go back to where we were before. So Tom ran very close to me for a big part of the race. So if I go over here and let's say I wanna meet Tom, so I go over here and I click on Tom. I'm gonna pull it up. There's Tom, Tom Hollis. Don't know who he is, but if I wanted to meet Tom, I could connect with him, and I met him through my flyby page. I know that. So what do we have in common? Well, we both ran Rocky Raccoon, and we were very close to each other for 96 miles. I think it's a very useful tool. So for racing, it might be that you want to meet somebody that you ran with for a while. You maybe caught their name, but you didn't really get to know them. Maybe you didn't chat too much because you were tired. That's usually my case. And but also in your neighborhood, um, I use Flyby sometimes. Sometimes there's some pretty good runners. I don't know who they are, and I've connected with people that way. A lot of runners don't have it turned on, so not everybody uses Strava, but I think a big percentage of runners use Strava. This is a very good tool, so try it out. Try it out in your neighborhood, or if you go to a big park where there's a lot of runners, and you might meet new friends that way. And also, nobody likes to run by themselves all the time. You might learn of new training groups in the area. And sometimes when I go out to the big parks, I see people running in groups, and I've been introduced to running groups by, you know, chatting with someone through a flyby. So this is the flyby feature. If you have any questions, happy to help you. There is an information page, and like I said, there's privacy settings. If you want to change your privacy, you can change it to everyone can view you in a flyby. You can change it to contacts only that you're connected with in Strava, or you can turn it off completely when nobody can see you in flybys. But I suggest don't do that. If you're concerned about um, somebody knowing who you are, you can go into privacy controls and you can block out your start and finish point, and you can tell it the distance to block out. So that way, nobody will know where you live. So there's some different things, and I know, ladies might be a little bit more concerned about this, and so there are features in the privacy function in your profile where you can set up to block out those things. So if you have any questions about it, like I said, you can shoot me a comment in the comment section of this video, or you can send me an email at runnerrwe@gmail.com. Happy to help you. I think this is a tremendous feature in Strava, and every time I talk about it, people say, "What? Never heard of that before." So I wanted to make a video about it. I think it's a very useful feature, but it's not something you can see on your mobile phone. You need to be logged in from a computer. At least that's the last I checked. It's still not available. And if you want to see all the details and stuff, like I showed, it's really like this here. It's really necessary to do it on a desktop or laptop. On a mobile phone, that you're just not going to get. There's just not enough room to show you all these things, and I think that's the reason they haven't put the feature on the mobile phone. But again, this is a Strava flyby feature. Hope you have a great week and great weekend, and enjoy your run. Take care.